Hello, everyone. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown, one of the hottest and best sports talk shows on the planet. Hey, guess what? We need subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button, notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our future videos. And if you like this video, of course, hit the like button. And if you want to make intelligent, non-insulting comments, feel free to do so underneath. We really like to hear what you have to say, and I'll do my best to respond. Like I said, it's getting harder and harder to do that because you guys make so many comments and we're getting popular.
And,
So,
and Mark has calmed down from his last video. You'll see he was fired up. So this
well, we're talking about the same topic, so I'm not going to be completely calmed down. Same topic from a different
I was
perspective.
wrong.
We got a live show Mondays Eastern time from 7 to 8, except for major holidays. Just so you know. Yeah, we have another video out about Caitlin Clark and the Olympic team. This is related to that, but it's completely different perspective. I made a comparison before with Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark, and a couple of people told me I was being silly. Those are the nicest words. But anyways, I was only talking about her mental capacity and her mental competitiveness, and that's it. Obviously, physically, the talent of Michael Jordan is off the charts, and Caitlin Clark doesn't have that, and she doesn't have the accomplishments yet. We get that. She has no titles. I get all that, but she's super ultra competitive, and that's what I see. And I think she's clutch and all that, and she's a great leader, and that's what I see in Michael Jordan. That's the only comparison I made. Now I'm going to make two other comparisons today that you can make fun of me if you want, but they're there. And they're bizarre, but they're true, and they relate to her not being on the Olympic team.
Okay.
And the first one, Rob and I went to high school together. He's a year ahead of me. He played on the basketball team, and then he went on to play college basketball and coach girls basketball. That's one of the reasons he's on this channel. You guys get some great knowledge about basketball from him. And he graduated with my brother. He was friends with my brother. But we grew up in Rochester, New York. That's why I'm telling you that. And Buffalo is an hour away from Rochester, New York, 65 miles. And we're old enough to remember when OJ Simpson got drafted by the Buffalo Bills, and he was the Heisman winner. But he wasn't just the Heisman winner. He was a great winner. He was better than most Heismans, and he had a lot of publicity because he was very exciting. In his junior and senior year, he had these two great long runs in key games, and there was a lot of hype about him. And back then, there was nothing. There wasn't even cable back then. All there was newspapers, radio, and network TV.
Only three stations, I think, back then.
Right. Yeah. So they got a lot of publicity. Okay. He got a lot of publicity for then. It was amazing. Okay. And I know he killed two people and got away with it, and his legacy's all ruined. I get that. But he ended up being one of the greatest running backs of all time. I think he's the fourth greatest running back of all time. And he might have been tied for first if what didn't happen, which I'm going to tell you right now. He got into the league, and he had a clueless coach who just wanted to have a balanced offense, didn't want to put him the focal point of the offense. And their offensive line sucked. The team sucked. That's why they got to draft him. And he got fired after 2 years. And then they got another coach, same thing. They suck still. He got fired. So for the first 3 years, he had two clueless coaches and no offensive line. And he looked like a total bust, even though you could tell he was talented. Right. He gained only 600 yards, the most he gained in those first 3 seasons. 1 year he missed a few games because he was injured, but it didn't matter. He was only averaging 4 yards a carry, which is average for that particular era. Now it's 4.2. Okay, so he looked like a total bust. But guess what? That was for 3 years. He looked like a total bust. And then the next year, they hired Lou Saban, and the first thing he did is made him the focal point of the offense. And he also decided to build up the offensive line. Heaven forbid. I would have never thought of that. He got a great running back. And so he did that. And the next year, he averages 4.3 yards a carry. He gets over 1,000 yards. And the next year, he blows up and sets a record for the most yards, 2,000 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry, and he averaged 140 or 143 yards a game, which is 10 more than anyone's ever done in the NFL history. He led the league several other times. He became MVP. He was the best player in the 1970s. That's how good he was. But for 3 years, I thought he was. Imagine now if OJ Simpson was playing and with social media and cable and all that, Rob.
He already would have been traded the first year. First 2 years, he would have been gone.
Well, mentally, he would have been gone. Mentally, he would have been gone as a player. How could you could handle what had happened to him? Really, I really think he would have been really lost his confidence. And there's no reason to. He was so extremely talented. He was fast and powerful and had great moves.
Right.
So that's what happened to him. And look at what happened to Caitlin Clark. After 2 games,
I
he
know.
didn't have 2 very good games, and she had unbelievable amount of defensive attention on her. Her teammates were clueless. The point guard was there with her, but the shooting guard was injured, so she was like playing half point guard, half shooting guard. Everything was against her. And she did poorly by her standards the first 2 games. And all the haters wanted to say she's a bust. She's overrated.
One trick pony.
You guys hyped up this white girl to the max. Look at how dumb you are. Okay, now we'll get into all that later. But Rob, does it seem fair that we gave 3 years to OJ Simpson to overcome his busness, and we only gave 2 games initially to Caitlin Clark?
It's because our society now is very knee jerk. It's very. I mean, if you're not, it's like what have you done for me lately? I mean, they're very knee jerk. If you're not, don't come out there. If she'd come out and hit like 30 points, 20 points the first 2 games, then people would have been like, "Whoa, she is the real deal." But everybody knows that you're not coming into any kind of professional league. Doesn't matter what it is. You're not going to, unless you're really, really exceptional. Even Michael Jordan was like that. You're not just going to come into the league and just take it over like that. They're not going to, because the players, like you said, the players are not going to let you, or the coaches are not going to let you come in. I'm not letting Caitlin Clark come in here and score 30 points on me. I'm putting 2 people on her.
They should.
I'm putting 2 people on her.
Give her a lot of attention.
Drop on me.
They should give OJ Simpson a lot of attention, which is what they were doing on the defensive side. And they should give Michael Jordan a lot of attention from the time he was a rookie. And he came in, but he was only the 3rd pick in the draft. So, which is obviously a mistake. But Michael Jordan, and he played well his rookie year, don't get me wrong, but he started out a little slow point-wise because he wasn't used to scoring a lot because Dean Smith held him under 20. The first 2/3 of the year, he was only averaged around 20 points a game. And the last third of the year, he was averaging around 35 points a game. And that's how he ended up with 28. He went gangbusters. But we didn't judge him on his first 50 games or first 40 games. We judged him on his whole career eventually. And Caitlin Clark was judged. Her whole career was judged on 2 games.
2 games.
On 2 games. That's why I want to point out she's still being judged for her whole career on what the way they play 17 games so far. 7 and 10. 17. They played 17 games so far in her whole career. There's still haters out saying she's playing like
it's over. It's all over. Yeah, it's all over. That's it.
So my point is let's have at least a season before you judge whether or not she's a bust. Never mind 2 games.
Not just a season, games. Mark. Not just a season. It's like you said. It's progressive. This person's going to get progressively better, just like Michael Jordan is. His jump shot wasn't that great, so he worked on it. And she's going to work on her game, like we told in other videos, her mid-range game. She's working on her defense. So that's what it's about in sports.
Right. And the other thing about the OJ Simpson is, just so you know, Buffalo was on TV every week in Rochester, New York, where he grew up, because that's what NBC covered, and the CBS covered the NFL, and they had Rob's Cleveland Browns on that
My team.
because the Browns are closer to New York, to Rochester, New York, than New York City is. It's 4 hours away instead of 6.5. So, anyways, that's why we found out about how OJ was playing. Like my dad and I would watch it, and we get disappointed because we were waiting for OJ for this 60 or 80-yard run, and there was nothing. And we are just saying, is he a bust or is his offensive line suck? We couldn't tell. I'm young. I'm just a young boy. I'm 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years when it's happening. And my dad said, yeah, he's got no offensive line. It's tough. And I remember that. Like we didn't totally judge him on that because my father was smart enough to know that he had obstacles that were taking place. And that's what I'm saying is I know the haters are never going to do that. But people who are like in the middle, they need to do that with Caitlin Clark. You realize there's some obstacles and she'd be playing better if she didn't have those obstacles. And that's my comparison to OJ Simpson and Caitlin Clark. And I'm sticking to it.
What about with Pippen, though?
Okay, the Scottie Pippen is the other one. Okay, so Scottie Pippen is an excellent player, and he played Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, as most of you know. Great player, and he was considered a really good player, but not a super great player.
Yeah.
He got chosen for the Dream Team in 1992, and guess what? He practiced and played with a lot of other great players that were better than him, actually. Not all of them were better than him, but a lot of them were better than him. And the surrounding summary after they all played together, when they asked about, did anybody surprise you when you played with this player or this player? They all knew how Michael Jordan was and, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. That didn't surprise them at all. They said Scottie Pippen. They said, we didn't realize how good he was until we played with him on the Olympic team.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, what do you think would happen if Caitlin Clark played with these players on the Olympic team, and she started drilling them with perfect passes on the break or in the post or anything else, what do you think their vision or their evaluation of her would be if they played with her on the Olympic team?
Probably the same. Probably the same thing. The same thing. I mean, that's what the exciting thing would be if she was on the team. She would bring the team's already gonna. They're already gonna win the gold medal. But I mean, to see like the play, the main thing is you want to watch the play of the game, and she would just add so much more to the play of the game of them winning. They're gonna win, but I mean, this thing she gets a rebound, starts pushing it down the court. She's Asia, whatever. Does a no look pass, goes in layup. I mean, the crowd will go wild. The crowd will go wild.
And Rob, she's actually a great leader. Now, it wouldn't happen right away in that Olympic team, but she's a great leader. Maybe they'll see that she's a nice person. Maybe she's humble. Maybe they would see that, and maybe they would see, oh, maybe we're being a little rough on her. And she's a great 3-point shooter.
It'd be great for her because, like I said, all through her all through her basketball career, she had to be the one. Now she can actually pull back and say, okay, cool. I don't have to be the one. I'm not the one. I can just, and she'll just totally relax. I think she'll be very more relaxed, and that'll help her game. You know, when you're playing basketball or playing any kind of sport, the more relaxed you are, you play a lot better. And she would enjoy. I mean, just being on the team, she would enjoy that. And I think after the Olympics, she would go wild in the league. I guarantee you.
But I think they would respect her after this, and maybe this will take away from some of the hate. They'll say, okay, maybe she's better than we thought, and she's a nicer person. Maybe we've been a little hard on her. Maybe they feel a little guilty about what's going on. And forget about ESPN saying there's no hate to her. There's jealousy, and I have no problem with the jealousy. 100% of the people on this planet would be jealous of her. I get that, but the hate's not necessary.
Right.
And so, that's. I think they would have a different perspective about her abilities and her as a person. And that would help all of this, because really, we're new fans to the WNBA. Like I said, I stopped watching them in 2016 when they didn't put Candace Parker in the Olympic team because Gina they hate each other. Okay, and I said, oh my God, I can't stand a league that's going to do that. Right? I was really ticked off. She was like my second favorite player after Cheryl Miller, But now we're new fans again. I'm new fans again, but a lot of Caitlin Clark fans are new. Some of them are new to basketball. That's why we do some simplistic basketball things on some of the videos. We try not to because we don't want to talk down to people. But we know some fans are brand new to basketball. They're just watching Caitlin Clark. And so I think if they look at that and say, okay, maybe this will just cool everything down, and they'll let her just develop. And I'm not saying don't guard her close or anything like that, but just let her play and let her just get the publicity, because she's going to get it anyways. And guess what? You're all going to make more money. You're all going to
exactly.
People have all said this a million times, but
exactly.
I think they'd be more aware of that, and they go, okay, all right, let's back off. Let the league grow. It's a good chance for the league to grow. She's just helping the league, and she hasn't done anything to deserve this, because she says all the right things in the press conferences. She praises the other players. She praises the history of the league and past histories. She chose which player she said it about, but she chose some good players.
So those two examples that you gave with OJ and Pippen are very good examples for that. I mean, so
right. That's why I brought it up, Rob, because she's not in the Olympic team, and she should be.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
and she's judged too harshly, and she shouldn't be. Is my point. Let's let her have a little bit of a career before you determine that she's a bust.
You can judge. Yeah, you can judge her.
Years.
Exactly. You can judge, but be objective about it. Like I said, she's got, like I always like, working your defense. Somebody suggested she's got to work more of a mid-range shot. That's fine. That's perfect criticism. But to out and out just hate her for what she is as a person, that's really asinine. What does she do to you? She does nothing. She's done nothing to you, but just play her game. She just wants to play it. Yet you want to hate her for really dumb reasons.
And Rob, she stayed out of the politics of all this too. And she even said, hey, the fans that are doing racial things and sexist things, stop it. She said, okay. She used my line almost. Stop it. She said that. So she's already said everything properly. The first time she said, I just want to play basketball. And that's fine too. That answer was perfectly okay too. She just wants to play basketball. So, and that's what's upsetting about this, Rob, is
Yeah.
she just wants to play basketball and they want to turn it into other things. And she doesn't. She's trying to just say, I'm focused on this. I'm focused on my team getting better. I'm focused on me getting better. And that's what I like about her.
Yeah,
Besides,
me too.
she's the most exciting basketball player in women's basketball by a large margin in history. And anyways, and that's why she's popular and not because any other reason that you guys, because she's white. That's like 10%. And we've covered it before, so I don't want to recover it. Yeah. So that's my. I know it seems like a bizarre comparison, but you can see the logic there, and you can see the logic in the limited comparison to Michael Jordan that I did in the past. It's limited. Just want to stress that. Yeah, limited. Okay, I'm nothing if not logical. I try to be objective, and Rob's a great at being objective too, and that's what we try to bring to our channel. We try to bring intelligent, knowledgeable sports talk, and that's what we're trying to give you right now.
So subscribe. And see more of us,
because you're going to get that. You're not going to get people with these wacky, one-sided views. You're not going to get that from us. So we criticize Caitlin Clark all the time, but only when it's legitimate. All right, that's my take, Rob. We got a live show Mondays 7 to 8 Eastern. Rob's not going to be there this Monday, but it's almost every major holiday. Rob's usually there, and I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can call in, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you think I'm from left field and I'm crazy, if you want to say that, fine, but just say it in a nice way. We want intelligent, non-insulting comments. Right. If it's really bad, I'll just delete it. Anyway, that's it. And we just take care. That's it. See you in the next video.